I think that would make dating hard. Is having this.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
I do really like you.
if at some point I like get folded up into a origami looking shape, it's because there's a demon and it's probably gonna come for you at some point.
That just sounds like you're trying to get out of the date.
If that's something you're comfortable with,
If that's
though,
something you're
like,
okay with.
With like, because like, I mean, like, I'm still down to hang out afterwards, but it would be like on you at that point.
I'm still down after.
Swallow this.
Welcome back to Reasonably Afraid. I'm here as always with my co-host Ray Reyes,
Yo.
Sean Dolan,
Hello.
and it's Valentine's, everybody.
Oh yeah.
And what movie would be more romantic than It Follows from 2015?
I mean, there's probably a couple more romantic movies. But
Nothing is more romantic.
I mean, a lot.
I feel like it's the lack of romance that really creates the
Honestly,
tone of this movie.
If you tell me how else you could get death STDs. Death STDs, no.
I mean,
think
there's
you
some
could-
STDs that lead to death, so I don't even know if it feels like a redundant term.
Yeah.
Which?
I just want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
SD deaths.
I'm glad
Why
no
did you
one
say
got
sexually transmitted, does you piece of shit?
I guess that is pretty, that's...
I love how you started as
STDs.
STDs.
I said death TDs and nobody called me out, so I appreciate
I need to clarify when I say STDs, I'm talking about something else.
We're the gang's back together. We're in it, baby.
Yeah.
We got through the fires. We got through birthday month. We had to do our Valentine's episode, and I'm pretty excited about this. Sean, this is your first time seeing this movie, right?
Yes.
And which is 99.9% of the time is Sean's first time.
I don't even know if you've ever asked me that before. I think you usually just assume.
That's true, yeah. I was going to ask Ray, and then I was like, let me start with Sean, and then it hit me after I asked you. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, it is. It was.
Well, yeah, but enjoyable film, unique take.
I liked it. I mean, listen, I was pretty tired. I watched it last night, and it was a cool. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, it was a nicely done movie.
Yeah,
it definitely like for the plot didn't sometimes get me completely, but
yeah.
I will say I was still like, for as tired as I was still locked in because of the score and like the freaking, what did you say, the cinematography.
The cinematography, yeah. It's a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ray, it was your first time watching, but you watched it twice now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that fucking noise?
But you watched it twice?
Yeah, I watched it twice. Well, because I was really drunk the first time, so I had to watch it again.
Okay.
He was just shit-faced going, it's so beautiful. my favorite quote of yours while watching it drunk was, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it looks amazing. And then I explained the plot to him, and he goes, oh, yeah. So
That really sums it up, though. That's beautiful. Like, I feel like in your, like, and that's what you felt in your core.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a gorgeous looking movie. There's some jaw-dropping shots. Like the shot where he's got her tied up, for the first time, where like he gives it to her. Like the shot in the car where he chloroforms her, like that shot where like you're kind of like peeking in through the car. Also fucking gorgeous shot. It's like, yeah.
Even just the way that the flowers or like weeds and stuff are in the foreground.
Yeah.
Slightly out of focus. And then the hubcap is like purposely in focus, or purposely? Yeah, purposely in focus, but just a little more than them. It's like, it's something about it. Just all the framing is fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah.
It was good. Who did this? Do they have other movies that
They do.
Oh wait, is that I just am like curious because I didn't look up the director or anything.
You're on the right track, dude. Writer director David Robert Mitchell He wrote and directed this film.
Well, what was it?
David Robert Mitchell.
That was trippy. That is like 3 first names.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
He could easily be a serial killer.
It
or
sounded
an
like a
assassin.
team that did this.
David Robert Mitchell.
Yeah. This was one guy?
That's crazy,
I
dude.
thought it was at least David, Robert, and Mitchell. Fuck.
Every time I see him, I'd be like, can I call you Rob? Can I call you Mitch?
You know, my name is David.
Like, maybe
dude.
you can call me whatever you want.
Hey, Dave.
He's so flexible. That's
Yeah.
cool. He just anytime someone just says a name, he turns.
Hey, Mitch.
Mikey, it's like not even.
Mikey.
Just in case.
So David Robert Mitchell, his first full length, it was a movie called The Myth of the American Sleepover from 2010. Not a well-known movie, but it definitely,
Sounds like a weird article.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wait, no, I went to sleepovers. They happened. It's
I'm
not
like
a
reading
myth,
this
dude.
bullshit. Dude. Wait.
It's like a BuzzFeed article about why sleepovers are racist.
That's really funny. why hiking and sleepovers are racist.
The death of the American sleepover. Things aren't as cozy as they seem. Like that's the under the sub.
Talk about why less sleepovers means that we're degrading as a society.
Yeah. Millennials aren't having sleepovers.
That's the one. That's
Yeah.
it. That's the ticket.
Gen Z isn't. I guess it'd be Gen Z or Gen Alpha. They're not.
They're not. Everything is online.
Yeah, kids these days don't even sleep out of someone else's house. It's probably true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out everybody's parents weren't super chill. We don't gotta get into that.
That's the most random tidbit, but it's hey, good for David. Was that what that movie was about?
No fucking clue. Write in the comments what that movie's about if you've seen it. I highly doubt you have. There's a lot of short film work. As we've discussed many times, especially like more modern directors, the biggest thing is always to get that short film out there that's gonna like get people's attention.
Yeah.
And
then he made a movie about sex.
fuck yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Good call. What does everybody like?
Was this literally his first thing ever?
Well, so it was his second feature, but it was definitely the one that he's most known for. He made another film called Under the Silver Lake, which is not about Silver Lake. It's about a Silver Lake.
LA.
It actually might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be about Silver Lake. It would be funny Under the Silver Lake, and it's just like a hipster rave.
Yeah. Just like fucking sad.
Takes place in the coffee shop.
Yeah. So yeah, he hasn't really done a ton of other stuff that would make you go like, oh man, that director is like. But I mean, I clearly with the work here, it's like, what are you guys doing out there? Somebody give this man a fucking
when
script.
was this made?
2014.
Yeah.
Oh, has he done stuff since, or is this like?
Yeah, he's done a couple of smaller things.
Damn, I feel like
yeah, it's only really one other feature I think that he's done, unless I was missing something. But I mean, it's like, dude, you proved yourself, man.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
it got a bunch of awards. I mean, the movie and it's like well known in like horror circles as like this like indie darling,
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, even though I was like I feel like I didn't sound too hyped about it. It was like I feel like it was still impressive.
Yeah.
And like it was. I mean, it was a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
I just for some reason the plot sometimes I was like, wait, why is? I mean, I guess that's what makes it mysterious. But I was just like, why is this? Why did this happen though? Too.
I'll
Like,
say
I don't need to know all the answers, but
I've seen it 3 times now, and I'll say every time something new comes to me, and I go, oh, like it took multiple watches to kind of connect some of the dots.
Yeah.
Because it's more intricate than it leads on. Like there's a lot going on, and then there's also stuff that he's purposely leaving vague in order to not allow you, like, in order to make you feel as confused as them.
yeah,
Which seems like a cop out. Normally, I would agree with that. In most horror, I would agree that like that whole like, oh no, I wanted you to, but like this feels intentional. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the fucking. Okay, wait.
Go ahead.
I will say I do the fact that sorry to go off topic, but I should
good.
say the premise of like they're basically just having sex to like pass on this thing that's gonna kill the other person. You know, it's like they got to get rid of it and all that. It feels like they're trying to just have sex with someone else so they're safe.
Right.
It feels so like a Christian anti-sex, like ed type shit.
Yeah.
Practicing
once
abstinence.
You have sex. Yeah.
Yeah. But
well,
then
like,
it's like it doesn't play. I feel like it doesn't feel that way though when I watch it at all. Like so, it's kind of cool. I do like where they went with it.
Like on its face, it could be perceived like that.
It could easily be Christian propaganda.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Which that's like most horror, right? Like even like Halloween inadvertently. Halloween, you know, they were just trying to do the whole babysitter getting stalked myth. And then like everybody copycatted it, and then everybody went, "Why do all these horror directors want us to not fuck?" Like everybody's like, "No, they were just like
it was just there."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the cinematographer, if you want to say, you know, David Robert Mitchell, all three of him should be getting more work, and I think we could all agree on that. But the cinematographer, I'm not sure exactly how to say his last name, but Mike Gialakis, I think is his name. That dude. Now he got to work. He had actually done John Dies at the End, which
that's a good movie.
That's from I think from 2012. But after this movie, I think everybody looked at that and they went, "Yeah, that director's great. Who shot that?"
Yeah.
Honestly, that kind. I mean, no offense to David Michael Mitchell Roberts Andrews.
He just says 19 first names.
Yeah, it was like, did I get them all?
yeah, dude.
No, because like he did good. Yeah, but, it doesn't make sense that they'd be like, because that's your first reaction. Like, seriously, this is fucking.
Well, this isn't
even Michael Richards did pretty good.
David Robert Mitchell.
I have like 1,000 first names just flying in my brain.
Well, the cinematographer Mike Gialakis, he did John Dies at the End, but then that was his like kind of his main feature. And then as soon as 2016 started, he did Split, Glass, Us, Old, Under the Silver Lake, because he went back to work with his buddy David Robert Mitchell. And then also The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and has like 3 more projects in the work. I mean, the guy has pretty much nonstop work since this movie came out. So, So it seems like everybody immediately was like, "Oh, that guy."
Hey.
But it does take a director to direct a cinematographer. So everybody, David Robert Mitchell, hire that man.
Luke Michael Stevens is great.
Oh so good.
You want to get one more in?
He was his younger brother. Like he was next in line. And then I don't know. I'm out. I can't think of any other fresh names. They're all gone.
We covered all.
Christian Andrews Phillips.
You got it.
Did I get him?
Yeah, there you go.
Strung out.
I'm like actually tired.
Jacob Howard Matthews.
Whoa. Ryan Patrick Anthony.
Ryan Patrick Anthony's great.
You know what? Good job, boys. That was good. Yeah.
I'll raise you a Ryan Patrick Anthony.
I noticed that you said you liked the music in this.
Yeah.
I think most people. I didn't know how many people actually had known about this. Your girlfriend has had the soundtrack after this movie came out, and like knew what the names of the songs are.
Yeah, she does that. That's the thing. That's the thing she does.
Well, I thought it was pretty cool because
I think it's weird. She listens to movie soundtracks.
I think she might have her own side project for this podcast eventually. But
like sometimes I'll get in her car and she's just listening to ambient noises. I'm like, what the fuck is this? She's like, it's the soundtrack to Inception. I'm like, why are you listening to this? It's just like backwards noises and synths, and I'm like, this isn't real music.
Wow, film soundtracks aren't real music. What a piece of garbage.
Okay. It's mostly tones and sounds to make it's not music. I think a lot of people would actually agree with.
It's not a band. It's definitely music. Just because it's not
it's not always music. Sometimes it's just noises.
Okay, sure.
Like the guy who look up the guy who composed on The Dark Knight. He was like, yeah, half of this is just me banging shit against the wall to make it sound creepy.
Okay, that's audio. That's audio. That's like the
Foley.
That's not the soundtrack.
No. There's definitely a difference between. Sean's just losing it.
Broke Sean.
There's definitely a difference between Foley, like the sound effects, and just like background ambience.
I'm thinking about someone driving their car and you just hear like rocks banging onto a table and you're like, what the fuck? My God.
And everything's just so calm around them, but in their car, it's like
the windows are rolled down.
It's the car crash noises in Fast and the Furious. And then you just hear Vin Diesel's family.
So,
all right. So, anyway, you fuckhead. In this one, it's a good composer who worked very hard on it, and it's a great soundtrack, and it fits perfectly. Yeah. And that person is called Disasterpiece, is the name of the actual composer.
Have they composed anything else?
Yes. Well, they were originally discovered by the director while playing the game Fez from 2012. And while playing that video game, he was like, this score is incredible. Who did the soundtrack for this video game? Motherfucker.
Oh, turn. Wait, that's good because honestly, can you repeat back a couple lines? I actually didn't hear what video game it was.
Is a game called Fez.
Fez.
Mm-hmm, Fez from 2012. And while playing the video game, the director was like, this is incredible. Like, who took the time to put this, like, great score to just, like, a video game? And it turns out that it was Disasterpiece. And he went on to also work on Under the Silver Lake, the other film with the cinematographer and the writer-director. But also did Triple Frontier, Marcel the Shell with the Shoes. In the Shoes, I think, right? Yeah. And then...
That's such a random other film.
But it's also like a movie that if you watch it, the score is so important, you know?
Oh, I haven't. I've just seen I've seen, people have talked about it. And Marcel the Shell, was it Snail Shell?
Let me say it again. Marcel the Shell Marcel the Shell with the Shoes on is the full name.
Marcel
I've
with the shoes on.
It's really beautiful.
Clips of it. I've never actually watched it.
And then also Bodies, Bodies, Bodies from 2022.
Yeah, what the fuck? That sounds like a different movie.
It is.
It's a horror movie.
It's 3 different movies called Bodies.
Yeah, he's in Marcel the Snow with the shoes on and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
It's just so intense of a difference. You're like, the poor Marcel just standing next to Bodies, Bodies, and Bodies. This cute little snail with the shoes on.
It wouldn't even know. It would just be moving along with the shoes on, being like, so many bodies.
Oh, fuck. Like this movie. Imagine if Marcel the snail with the shoes on had an it
That's
following her.
That's so hard to say.
It had an it following her, and she had to have sex with someone in order to
you gotta fuck this
Wait,
shell.
is the snail? I'm sorry. Is this? I have a vague memory of the snail. Is it like an adult snail?
It's a shell.
Which is a shell?
It's a snail shell.
Snail in a shell.
In a shell.
Is it? Is there?
Yeah, the shell's
Marcel
not
the
just an
snail.
inanimate.
I never watched it.
All right, can we?
How would it?
Let's just move on.
Can it have sex?
I don't know how shells reproduce. Snails. Fuck. You know what? We're moving on from this fucking. Anyway, he did.
No, this is important.
Yeah.
Drop everything.
Yeah. No.
I'd like to believe that Under the Silver Lake is like the same premise as it, but every time you fuck, you wake up in a vintage record shop.
Listen to a poetry
reading. Groundhog. I have a question.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to ask. How would you get rid of it? Who would you have sex with? To solve it. How do you solve this?
Okay, honest answer, I wouldn't.
You would kill yourself?
I mean, it just seems like a fucking shitty thing. It's like, it's going to kill everybody anyway and probably going to get
Wait,
back
what
to
happens
you.
if you kill
Take
yourself?
a little responsibility.
It goes back to the next person, yeah.
It goes back to the last person. Yeah.
Well, what if it's like, I guess how long could it be realistically?
Oh, we were actually talking about this the other night. This is what you do. Okay, here's
it.
You gotta
You gotta outfuck it.
You gotta outfuck it.
So what? You get to everyone?
Yeah.
You unite the world. Everyone has had sex.
Everybody fucks, and then it's too confused.
Everyone sees it, doesn't,
Because then what would happen? It wouldn't just rotate around. It just hops to the next person. It's like, well, I've already had it. We're all infected. What if it just resets?
Here's what you do. You move to another country.
Yeah.
You explain the situation calmly and rationally.
They're going to, yeah. Okay.
You get them convinced, and you get everybody.
Bio warrior at that point. I think you're a bio weapon. I showed up. I have a gun.
It's
in my pants, and I will shoot.
I said throw an air tag on it, so you always know where it is.
Not a bad idea, but it can change its figure, so you don't know how long it would be able to stay on it.
Yeah.
I
think practically speaking, if you're able to get the air tag on it, it's risky.
It's a floating air tag.
At that point, you might need to just like fight it.
Oh my god! Yeah. I just realized we didn't do the okay.
Wait, so answer the question.
Well,
wait, what?
Here's what you do: you get a group of people together who all agree that this is the problem, and you all agree to fuck constantly. It's great. You basically have agreed that in order to stay alive, you all have to constantly have sex. So as soon as one person's done, they move on to the next person who's in on it, and everybody just keeps fucking, and then it can't keep up.
Right.
That's not. I'm sorry.
Just keep fucking. Work. Just keep fucking. Right?
It's gonna pick it up. It's gonna like realize what you're doing with that same group of people, and it's just gonna be waiting.
I don't think it waits for you to come though. You could just in and out. You know what I mean? The scissoring. Oh yeah, that's another. thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
It'll see it coming though. Literally, like it'll be like it'll understand. Yeah. It'll be like, oh, it's following this person. They're gonna pass it here, and I'll be ready.
Yeah.
You got to get on a boat with a couple of friends. You just keep it moving.
Also, that is does this only count with straight sex?
The director chimed in about this. The director said condoms and same sex does not save you. It's the intimacy with another person.
What?
Yeah.
Well, then
so can I dry
hump? That's a lot more vague. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
there's moments of intimacy.
It's
without
like trying
sex.
to ponder. It's like, well, okay, so there wasn't penetration, but they like did do a lot of foreplay.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to count it.
I feel like that's pretty.
Well, so just to recap real quick, in case you don't know this movie, typically if you're listening to a podcast about a movie, you should know the movie. The plot, the basic plot line. Yeah, we forgot.
Never said that. That's what you wanted
to... Out of context, pretty wild. The basic plot outline.
We touched on it. Okay.
Yeah. The basic plot outline is that if you have sex with, Death is chasing a young man in the beginning of the film. Mm-hmm. He has sex with a girl, ties her up, and shows her this naked woman coming after them and says, basically, that's some kind of creature. It's trying to kill us. If you have sex with somebody, it'll chase them instead. But if they die, it'll come back to you. And in the movie is the attempted outrunning and escape of this evil entity. And the main character, she has to convince her friends that this is real, and they do their best to try and help her stay alive.
Because they don't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a conundrum.
And now you know.
But they see things move around, though.
Yeah.
Like, its presence is definitely
real. You see her
real.
hair go up.
Yeah.
Dude, that is my favorite moment. I love that. Just broad daylight, and then the hair go up like that, and then the kid hits it with a chair, and then it fucking like knocks him away.
Yeah.
That shit is
dude,
gnarly,
he went flying.
Yeah, he was like.
I don't think anyone else flew that much.
No.
Like that was the scene that he went.
Yeah.
They were like powering up that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which is interesting because it's like, you always think of it as a demon, right? Is kind of the implication. I think a lot of people think of it first because it does have the whole like showing itself as this other body or whatnot. But I wanted to touch on this kind of because it's kind of interesting. So you remember there's an old movie they're watching in the beginning, that old like sci-fi horror movie they're watching, the guy with the big bug eyes, like at the very beginning they're like sitting around in the living room. So that movie is I have it written down. Excuse me. That movie is actually a film that the plot outline is that aliens have dropped off this like other alien creature on the planet Earth, and that's what's terrorizing people. And so I feel like it kind of
someone had sex with it.
Yeah,
somebody fucked it,
and that's what happened. And then it's like that's like most STDs. I think they come from like animals. I made that up.
Oh, it's called Killers from Space is what it's called, from 1954. And it's a Peter Graves film, but it does kind of imply this almost like this thing we see a lot in horror where it's like whatever movie's on the TV is like there for a reason. It's not just some random film, right?
Right.
And so it does kind of imply that it's not. I don't think it's necessarily a demon. It feels more like predator. It's sexual predator.
Yeah.
First
it
of
just
all,
can smell the pheromones of who.
I deserve more for sexual predator. Fuck you both. Okay.
No, sexual predator is good. It's
no,
good.
honestly,
it's
it was good. It was in
I deserve a standing ovation for sexual
I'm gonna think
predator.
about it later tonight.
Yeah.
All right. And
No, but
it'll make me laugh more. Honestly. It's one of those,
Yeah.
Just gotta, hey. That's what I'm gonna do later. I'm gonna.
But it does.
Sexual
It does.
predator.
Honestly, it does have that same thing where, like, remember, Predator could make itself invisible or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Make itself come. Yeah, if this thing could just jerk off, maybe it wouldn't be.
Yeah. What the fuck? Why doesn't it just? What?
Is it mad that everyone keeps fucking? Like, is that what is that?
Can I say? Can I say that I would definitely, if I had it following me, I would definitely try. Like, maybe this will work. I just try and
Try and fuck it.
No.
Oh. No, it'd still be you.
No, I know, but just I'm like, hey, just to see if it worked. Like,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like it's just like staring at the ground.
You're just jerking off.
I
at
do
it.
like the
It's
idea
like
that
punching my sock. Like I don't know. Like for a second, I'm like, it probably wouldn't work, but just to like cover all my bases.
Hey,
That'd
what
be my,
happened to
like-
the demon thing that was following you? It's following my dog now.
Oh my
What the-
god, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, my dog's just fast enough to get away, to be honest.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. That's actually how you solve it.
Oh yeah, what was that joke you had earlier where we were just
We
goofing
won.
around before he got here? Like, yeah, I killed my parents. What? You have any idea how hard it is to seduce your family? It should have been harder, if I'm being honest.
You know what's worse than your dad not fucking you? Your dad saying yes way too quickly.
Yeah, just solve the what?
Don't worry, just fuck mom. Oh my god.
Why'd you give it to me, you idiot? She hasn't fucked me in years. Oh, Jesus
No, but in
Christ.
all seriousness, I
In all seriousness, what?
I
Yeah.
would fuck someone important.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
So it'd get media attention. They'd just be able to hire a guy. They just start shooting it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
First thing you do, fuck Elon Musk.
No, what do you
Oh.
need? I need. Would it? Yeah, because then it would kill him. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then also, if it doesn't, then yeah, again, media attention.
He probably solved it.
I like
Or
I
he
have.
pays someone to
Hey,
solve
a
it.
lot of the people in a lot of people just instantly believe him too. They like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just blindly follow what he says.
The invisible person that's following you is you have to have sex with someone else and or something. Explain the plot again. I hate trying to explain this plot for some reason. It's so simple, but like
Yeah.
hard to articulate.
Yeah.
It's following you unless you have sex with someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And it follows them.
Well, real quick, let's cover some of the actors in this because there's everybody does a great job, you know, and they're all
Mhm.
pretty young too. I mean, it's really, you know, it's cool to see a cast of young people that like really are actually good at the. Not to, you know, no offense to some of the other stuff we've watched, but it is, you know,
No,
sometimes
it's good.
yeah, sometimes they're like, you know, just a bunch of kids trying to pull off, you know, or people trying to look like kids who were like 40-year-old adults, like, hey, I'm in high school.
Yeah, there was a lot of those.
Yeah. Okay, so the lead character is Jay, right?
Yeah. Right.
I think her name is Micah Monroe, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
So she was in a TV movie called Flying Monkeys in 2012. But after this, things picked up. They got better, you know? Not all flying monkeys, baby, you know? She was in a movie called Fifth Wave, Independence Day, the sequel, Independence Day Resurgence. She was in that. And most notably Long Legs from last year. Very
Oh
popular horror movie.
yeah, she was in Long Legs.
Yep. And then she will be in They Follow, which is in pre-production right now, which is a sequel to this
Oh.
film.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Okay. It Follows 2. They didn't want to go that route.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's always fun when they don't. They
yeah.
They're going for something different.
Yeah.
It's but you're instantly recognizing, oh, this is definitely from the same. You would assume.
Yeah.
You hear It Follows, and then you hear about the new movie coming out. They Follow. One would assume it's
or it's not multiples like it would imply, and it's actually just it's the alien things. Like I'm non-binary.
Oh shit.
They them follow.
They follow. Well, I guess Who?
Never know.
Follow.
They follow. So wait. Is there anything about the movie out?
It's in pre-production, so everything is opening stages. So there might be some.
Because it sounds like it's like they're like, oh my god, it mutated, and now there's two. It's happening twice at the same time.
Ooh, that could make a good romance. Movie is it thinks it's the only one, and then it comes across another one, and they bang it out, and they have little it children.
Well, that would
too.
be like something that like you wouldn't feel bad having sex with them because they also have someone following them. So
if it has sex with one of their own, do they gotta? Which one kills who and when?
They just swap. All right, good luck.
Yeah.
How's it been? Can you give me some of his routes? Like, what should I look out for? He's going to set up like toasters around a pool. That's it. That's the best. That's what your guy tried. That's crazy, man. They thought that'd work.
It is weird they did shoot it in the head.
Yeah, geez, this thing is durable as hell.
Yeah. It got shot in the head like multiple times.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I saw it get shot in the head, that'd be tough. Like in that moment, and it like still follows me. Like, fuck. All right, what are we doing here? This is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in Predator, they got
Turner. Sorry,
chill, dog.
Man.
In Predator, he's got the little thing on his arm that he sets up to.
Oh,
he's like, I'm not just gonna lose. I'm gonna kill us both.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's. I think that's part of it too, though. Is like, did it really die? Right? Like,
yeah.
Because at the end, when they're walking away holding hands, and there's that weird figure in the background, and you're like, is that someone just walking slow on purpose?
Wait, yeah. How did they get it at the end? What did they do?
So at the end, they
shot it basically what they thought was to death, and then she looks at the pole and it's like filled with blood. And then she fucks the nerdy kid.
Yeah.
And then he fucks a sex worker. In attempt to like
as like a just in case.
To, like,
I thought they were assuming it wasn't dead or something. Then too. No. They like.
I think it was more of a just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then at the end they show him walking down the sidewalk, and then there's that figure in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an interesting thing. The director purposely had all the extras, like anybody like non-speaking roles that wasn't like a part of the main cast. He had everybody walk slower. So everyone, when you go back and do a rewatch, all the extras are walking slow. Nobody's walking like normal speed, so it kind of fucks you up. And then like some people are like slightly more than others, but it's like it almost gives you that like subconsciously it almost gives you that, like it could be anybody. Like
right,
yeah.
Like even when there's the girl that's walking by and he's like, you see that girl right there? Like when they go find the kid again that originally had it,
yeah.
And he's like freaking out, but she's like walking slow, and that's why he's saying that. But I think the only part where somebody walks fast is when the guy with the dark hair that comes up, that character, what's his name? Hugh? Yeah. When he comes walking up in the park at night, he's walking up fast, and she's like, oh my God, do you see it? And they're like, yeah, because she's not used to it yet.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, is the only part where anybody, where they're kind of like trying to trick you, like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's the only time where somebody actually walks fast. He's like quickly walking through the park.
Yeah. There's that scene where they're looking for the guy that gave it to her, and they go to the high school. Yeah. And they're panning around, and there's that one extra that's like walking towards the camera every time they pan back around.
Yeah.
And then you see her, that same extra, walking towards the car when they're leaving the school.
That's right.
Which is like they don't, I feel like there's an implication there that it was there too.
Right. But they do such a good job of keeping it up.
Yeah, you're not really sure.
Yeah, it's cool.
I would say this movie slowly walks so that Smile can run.
100%.
Because Smile is almost the same premise. Like it's a demon that's attached to people, based on like these weird interactions that you have with someone who has it.
Right.
Which is it's a little different because Smile is like it makes you kill yourself in front of someone that causes trauma that like that's the monster's connection to that trauma. But this one's just like, you got fuck.
And then you just gotta keep.
It's like a line chef in the alleyway outside on his 10-minute smoke break, and he's just like 1 foot up on the wall. And he's like smoking a cigarette, and he's just like, "That's the problem. You just gotta fuck it out.
You just gotta fuck it out.
It's the only way to solve it. That's how I got it." Like he's explaining it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna try and kill you.
He's gonna try and kill you.
He's gonna. You gotta fuck someone. Good luck. Good luck. It's gonna fuck with you for the rest of your life, probably. You want one?
So the other actors in this, the guy that played Paul, who's like the nerdy boy, the friend, it's clearly got the crush on the girl. Keir Gilchrist is his name. He was on an episode of Queer as Folk in 2003 was his first job, but his first horror movie was Dead Silence from 2007. I don't know if you guys remember that. The puppet. It's like a ventriloquist puppet.
No.
It's like a horror movie with a ventriloquist puppet.
I know.
Wait, what you talking
about? There's a Halloween Horror Nights house on it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when they were like, "Come on, guys, we spent money." But he was in I think a couple seasons of United States Terror. He was in Tales of Halloween, which is an anthology thing, 2015. A movie called Flashback. I was in a film called Flashback as well. And it is not nearly as known. This is from 2020, and it actually has multiple actors from this film in it. So I don't know if it was just like that director or producer was like a fan of it, or if this guy was like, "Hey, I got some friends." I don't know how, but multiple people wound up working. Like people from this movie wound up being in that movie, which is cool.
Yeah.
And he was in 3 seasons of Atypical and a new film from this year called Freaky Tales. So that's pretty cool. Freaky Tales. Freaky Tales. Okay.
I don't know what I was like. Imagine Dragon Tales,
but like sex.
Freaky.
Yeah, freaky, scary.
The fuck is that, dude?
I don't know.
I just want to know.
It's gotta
Honestly,
be
I just want to know. Would that pick up?
It's gotta be the laptop.
Yeah, it's fine.
I feel like it's something I've heard before. Too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to remember what it's from.
I don't know.
Grinder. Got him.
No.
Damn.
There's no way. I don't know what any of my apps sound like, to be honest. I don't have Grindr, but I'm just saying.
My phone hasn't made a noise since I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
How about It Follows, but it follows all of my coworkers?
It's so shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's just the implication is I'm fucking all my coworkers.
Oh, no. I thought...
Oh, you mean a restaurant?
I thought you were just...
What? What?
I thought it was just following your coworkers.
Like on
and
Instagram?
You're making some weird, like
stalker
Facebook
reference.
mom joke where you're like, oh, imagine how embarrassing it'd be if it just logged onto your account and started following your coworkers.
I imagine it more like somebody like they're working at Chili's and then just one day the manager's like, why does everybody keep fucking dying around here?
Because everyone's fucking each other.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
And they're all crimped up in the freezer. Okay.
Why am I the only one who can't see it?
Nobody fucks the manager. Yeah, he's too busy harassing people. So the guy that played Hugh,
they don't like him so much they won't even give it to him because they get rid of it.
He's such a shitty
He's
boss.
like, come on, I'll take it off your hands.
Yeah, come on. Why won't you give it to me? Why?
Why not?
Seriously.
I'm a fast runner.
Name 5 good reasons. 10. Okay, 15. There's no way you do 15.
It keeps going up. All right. Okay.
Seriously, 20? He actually starts getting like sad and like 25.
All right. Okay.
He's sending them Snapchats like, oh, just, hanging out. Could be running from a demon right now. Got a lot of time on my hands to be running from demons. Just saying.
Dude, what?
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hugh The character with the dark hair, the guy that she hooks up with originally.
That wasn't his name.
His name is Hugh.
Yeah.
It was his real name?
No, it's Jeff. Hugh was the fake name he gave her.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the other guy, the guy with the dark hair that she hooks up with later in the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The guy that clearly goes and has sex with some other people, and he thinks.
Wait, what? His name was Hugh?
Yeah.
They were both Hugh?
Nope. The other guy's name is Jeff.
No, but his name was Hugh at first?
No. The guy.
No, Greg is the one with the long hair.
Bro, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, no way.
Greg is the one with the long hair.
You're right. I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. I have a lot of notes.
This is the whole David Patrick Matthews thing we were talking about earlier.
You were so close. It was David Robert Mitchell. You were so close.
Oh, man.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
You're correct. The guy
Kevin Jacob Donald
says it right there. Says it right there.
Wait.
God damn it.
Hugh Jeff Greg. Hugh Jeff Greg?
Hugh Jeff Greggs?
Because the three guys that you couldn't get right in the movie.
Yeah.
Actually, the two guys, but with one.
Actually, yes, you got those names right. That's crazy. Okay, well done. Greg was the guy with the dark hair that she hooks up with, the neighbor boy. That guy was in the film Beneath from 2013. He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in 2014. But then after this, he did Don't Breathe, which is a horror movie from 2016. Fear the Walking Dead. He was in a few episodes of that. He was in Lady Bird. He was in The Pope's Exorcist. That boy been working.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other guy who's actually had a pretty good career since is Hugh, or what's his real name?
Jeff.
Yeah. Or was it Jeff's fake name? Which one was it?
Jeff is his real name.
Jeff's his real name, right? He tells his name's Hugh. His real name is Jake Weary, and that guy was in.
Oh my God! So Jeff wasn't even his real name.
He was in Guiding Light.
This guy's so good. He's got two fake names, man.
He was in Guiding Light. He was in Zombievers, which is a fantastic nonsense.
Zombievers?
From the same year. Pretty Little Liars. He was in 4 episodes of that. He was in It Chapter 2. He plays Webby in It Chapter 2, which is cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he was in a show called Animal Kingdom for 75 episodes. So he's been doing just fine for himself,
75 episodes.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Animal Kingdom.
Yep. And one of the actresses is in a show on Shudder that's super fucking cool. I knew I recognized her from somewhere I was watching, and I was like, why does she look so different? And then I realized that was 10 years ago. So that makes sense.
Who was it? That one?
The dark-haired friend that it tries to look like on the beach. The girl that the girl that, like, in the beginning she's doing like the tarot card thing.
Yeah.
Actually, they're playing Old Maid is the game they're playing. Which is interesting because when you play Old Maid, you're always trying to give people something so that they'll get out and you get to stay in.
Oh, that's a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. I
did
my
movie
research.
Thought about it.
This movie thought about it.
Yeah, that was good.
I wrote it down.
That was a fun. Did you just lead into that next fun fact beautifully? That was
did,
good.
dude.
That was good.
There you go.
Your boys in practice.
That was subtle.
Thank you.
I feel duped.
Just fucking eased it in there. The concept for this film, the director had this reoccurring nightmare about being stalked, but slowly, to where like no matter where he was going, and I think it's almost obviously it'd be scarier to have someone running directly at you full speed. But it is equally terrifying to just never be able to get away from someone who's slowly moving.
Yeah. And then I'd wake up and it turned out I came. That's how I came up with the idea.
It was a wet dream.
It was a wet nightmare.
Oh my God! It sounds like a nightmare. Someone tells him that sounds like a nightmare. Oh, I guess.
I guess it was a nightmare.
I thought it was.
And in an interview,
I guess you had to see it yourself.
There's an interview where somebody was like, was the sex part involved in that? And he was like, no, that was later. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, did you just tell us you were horny?
Yeah, relax, dog.
Yeah, it came to me in a dream. It was fucking hot.
The other thing that's kind of interesting about this, like concept wise, is they didn't show the name of the movie until the very end. It's the first thing that happens. As soon as the movie's over, it follows, and then the credits roll. They never showed at the beginning. It's kind of interesting. You don't usually see that.
The whole movie is just the cold open.
Right. Just he's like, I've always been really.
Oh fuck! Jesus!
It's Sean's nightmare. Now a whole other movie. Come on, come on, man.
Thank God I didn't thank God I didn't realize that. I
was so mad.
I was so far from the mic on that.
Yeah, you probably still picked up some of it.
So the locations where this was filmed were Sterling Heights, Michigan, Berkeley, Michigan, and Detroit, Michigan, because this is all Michigan-based filmmakers. But also, really interesting thing, the 1981 premiere of Evil Dead was at the Redford Theater.
Hey.
And guess where this movie takes place? Right in the beginning. They're in the fucking Redford Theater with the organ player and everything. So this movie, a beautiful theater to shoot in, but also such a cool little nod to one of our favorites, Evil Dead.
Hey.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-edit this trailer and just put the 8 Mile soundtrack behind it.
The trailer?
Yeah, especially a scene where they're driving by like broken down houses. Play that 8 Mile scene, 8 Mile song, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Well, there is that like odd mention of like class stuff in there, where like my mom always said like don't go, like they have to go into the bad part of town, right, in order to like outrun this monster and try and solve the whole thing. And she makes a reference to like growing up we were always told never come over here, and like there's this interesting thing of like just to even mention it would have been fine if they didn't, but it was kind of cool that they like worked in, like a lot of horror does, where they work in stuff that like makes you think for a second. You're like, oh yeah, this girl's talking about like having lower middle class privilege, which is still not great, but like she's had to go into this less privileged area in order to try and like solve her problems. So
of the sex having monster.
Correct.
Honestly, the way they kind of solved it at the end is probably the best way to go about it.
What?
Because he just had sex with a sex worker.
Yeah, that is smart.
Who's probably just going to immediately give it to the next person within like that hour.
Well, she's got to take a break at some point,
Well, yeah.
Because you don't know how quick the other guy's going to get it in, So
what
it
if
might go
she
right back
finally
to her.
she was like, you know what, I'm done. That day she has a realization afterwards. She was like, you know what, that kid, I feel like something about him. He just
heart of gold.
He opened something in me, and I think I want to
make me walk away from this life.
My career, I've always wanted to be a welder. And I think I'm finally gonna do it. And she like gives it up that day, and she just says, I'm gonna abstain from sex, and then she dies. It's fucked. That's actually
it's really dark, dude.
What's that kid's name?
I don't remember.
That kid, shame
Paul.
on him. Paul.
Yeah.
Shame on Paul.
Yeah.
Well, it's really sad too, because it's like, theoretically, if everybody thinks about this, it's like, if you don't know that this thing's coming after you, and you just give it to somebody with no warning or whatever, that shit come right back, dog. Like,
it's coming right back.
Yeah, like now you're just killing people for no reason,
Yeah, because like if they don't know, they're just gonna die.
But there is an interesting like allegory to like the responsibility of like, the sort of underlying tone, right, of like the fear of sexually transmitted diseases and like the way we treat them culturally, where it's like, where it's supposed to be like, oh, it's the end of my life, when really,
have that conversation.
Yeah, and that guy does, and it saves that girl's life, and she's able to like,
it might be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to chloroform them.
I don't see, and I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if he should have done that. That was a little. I feel like
the chloroform thing.
Yeah.
Tied her up.
I would have just had the conversation.
Oh, hey, by the way.
Honestly, yeah, he kind of didn't have to do that. He could have just been like, hey, let's just wait around for a little bit.
Let me, baby.
I want to show you something.
So that thing, that is your responsibility now.
Yeah.
I think it was like, in his mind, he's like, if I force you to see it, you'll believe me. As opposed to like have sex with her and go, by the way, this is the case. Anyway, see you. So, I mean,
like he could have, the whole scenario could have still been like him just being like, all right, we're going to stay here and just hang out.
But you don't know
you
how
might
long
see
it's
some
going to
shit.
take, and that's why he keeps her there. Because if you can't talk her to just like, all right, now we're just going to sit in this one spot for a really long time. Like, they didn't really know each other. Like, I understand what you're saying. Yes, theoretically. But also, it's like, you know, she went on like a couple of dates with this guy, and it's like, you know, he wanted to guarantee that, and it works better for a horror movie to, you know, chloroform somebody and tie into a chair.
Yeah.
I think that'd make dating hard. Is having this.
Oh yeah.
Hey, by the way,
I do really like you.
If at some point I like get folded up into like a origami looking shape, it's because there's a demon and it's probably gonna come for you at some point.
I do really like you, but if I have sex with you, that just sounds like you're trying to get out of the date.
If that's something you're comfortable with,
if that's something you're okay with.
With like, because like, I mean, like, I'm still down to hang out afterwards, but it would be like on you at that point.
I'm still down after. That's so funny. Okay, so we talked about, you know, some of the rules of this or whatever, and the director has chimed in on, you know, like, just to kind of squash like kind of simple theories of like ways out of things. And one of them was that the director said that it could potentially board transportation. Like it could hop a flight. Like it's only bound by physical law. So like it's not like it can't do other shit. Like it can walk up to you. It's walking, which means it can walk onto a fucking train.
Yeah, like I don't know why it's just so funny that what was it, David Patrick Riddle?
David Robert Mitchell? Go ahead.
Well, he said that theoretically it could hop on transportation.
Sure.
Theoretically. Like, like, this thing, who knows what its capacity is?
Yeah. It's like, you made it. You should know.
This thing is crazy, man. I don't know, man. It could probably.
Well, the exact quote is, it could board a plane or any mode of transportation, really.
Yeah.
So I said theoretically as part of my regurgitating the information.
So if you were to like the flight, I feel like it'll take time. It'll take time though. Like, you know, you buy yourself some time if you hop on the plane and, you know, cross the oceans.
Theoretically, it could like ride a bike.
Yeah.
Theoretically, like it could,
it knows how to walk.
Theoretically, it could like literally, I guess. Yeah. So. It could like climb a rope.
It would be pretty funny just to see a Huffy just going. Just, no one's on it.
Just rock climbing.
Oh, this is kind of cool. The
monkey. He's like following you around in a playground. You're going down the slide.
The nudity in this film, no one is naked who has sex. There's no like the nudity is non-sexual in the movie. Like anytime someone's naked, it's the entity like just happens to be without clothes on or whatever, or like half clothed. But yeah, every time there's any kind of intimate scene, no one's naked in them. So it's not like overdoing the sexuality of it. But there is an interesting thing that happened with those nude scenes. They actually had to do pickup shots of those same actors because they were like, as creepy as to see a naked person standing around, you can't use that in a trailer because you can't air them on TV.
Oh yeah.
So they had to go back, and I'm sure it's not nearly as impactful as a naked dude on a roof because that was fucking terrifying. But they had to have that same shot where that guy puts shorts on, and then, you know, and then they filmed that. I also like the idea of a PA being like, "Everybody in the neighborhood, look away," and then like film that guy standing on a roof. But yeah, it's really funny to think they had to like go, okay, those are good shots. Now we got to redo them again with clothes on. The dad of Jay, the one in the beginning, the main character. They show in her room at one point. They show the pictures of her like family and stuff, and you don't realize it until you do a couple of watch throughs. But that picture has a picture of her dad. And when she says at the end, where she goes, "What do you see at the pool?" and she says, "I don't want to say," because her sister's there with her. It's her dad. That's who the guy from the pictures in her family pictures is the guy at the end in the pool. So it's her dad coming to kill her, is what it looks like to her, and like throwing the toasters and shit, you know.
Oh fuck!
So that was especially psychologically
difficult
for her. pretty subtle, but still a good, little Easter egg thing.
I like the scene where they, when she like first sees it in the house. Mm-hmm. Not the girl peeing on herself. That was weird, but the
that
second time
trippy. That was a little, yeah. It was
the second time
scary,
where it's like the tall guy without like eye sockets.
Yeah,
that was cool as fuck.
Yeah, and he has to bend down. And, like, he's actually the tallest man in that town in Michigan. He's been in lots of commercials and stuff like that. And, he doesn't look. He has his eyeballs in those.
Yeah,
in his other work, but he's a famous local celebrity.
That's cool. I mean, to be honest though, when you first said it, I thought it was gonna be way more like far-reaching. You said he's the tallest man in
the world.
That town in Michigan.
Yeah, it's so funny because that town has nothing going on. That they're like, you guys want to see the tallest man in Michigan?
He's over there eating. Go look at him. He's like, I'm a person. I'm not an attraction.
He's like, he's got his hands on his hips. He's like, look at him. Look at that guy. Isn't he so tall?
Why do you guys keep sending your friends and family who are visiting to come look at me?
He holds a town hall. He's like, can you guys fucking stop? It's kind of frustrating.
I'm not the fucking Hollywood sign. Stop. I'm not a tourist attraction.
And then they're like kind of are hardly even paying attention. And then when he leaves the city council building, he has to bend down to like leave the doorway. And they're like, oh.
That's our boy. There he goes.
He did the thing.
He did the thing. There are 11 actors who actually collectively make up who the Thing is throughout the film, which is just an interesting takeaway from that. If you're counting out there at home. And there is one theory left that I want to talk about before we close out on this. The ball theory. And the ball theory is the red ball that hits her window when she first is dealing with, like, remember when she's like staring in the bathroom?
The boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Little peeping Tom kid.
So there and there are red balls on clothing or in the background or on or someone actually has one with them or something in every scene precluding the prelude to it showing up. There's always, so like in the ice cream shop, one of the workers has on a shirt with a red ball on it. So there's a theory that I'd have to watch through again to make sure that that's checks out. But there's a theory that the red ball is like the like almost like the phone ringing in Black Christmas.
How do people find these things? What the fuck,
dude? People just be paying attention, dog.
I'm like, do I not watch movies well enough sometimes?
Well, also people get like obsessed with certain movies and then watch them over and over again, and you're the opposite. You don't even watch it.
Even when I do like them, it's hard I usually don't go back to them. I'm not someone that like rewatches stuff very often.
A movie's got to be pretty good for me to rewatch it, or I have to have a reason to rewatch it.
Yeah, like our part 2 of Evil Dead is coming out. Our Evil Dead series is coming out next week, and you've seen Evil Dead Rise like how many times?
Oh, like almost like fucking like 30 times now.
I love
that movie. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
That's a movie that I've watched several times.
I did. Honestly, I thought it was the best. Oh, that's a different episode.
Well, that ding indicates that we're at the end of the episode.
Honestly, that was a good time because and we just started talking about the other movies.
You really can't mute that? You can't turn the volume down on the laptop?
I'm pretty sure I can.
We're like close to the end.
Yeah, it's fine.
So annoying. All right. So we're going to wrap up with the usual, boys. Unless anybody's got anything extra to say about this movie. I mean, I love this movie.
I went on all my tangents.
Yeah. You got it out.
Yeah.
We're good.
I said out fuck it joke, right?
Yeah.
I did. Yep. I don't know. We got anything else left?
He's like, let me make sure. Hey, one thing before we go. I did.
Hang on, let me look at my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do budget, box office, and Rotten Tomatoes. You guys are tied up.
For the year?
So, yeah, everything since we started the new year, you guys are perfectly tied. So, I think I'm just going to let Sean pick because Sean's been away for a little bit. And, it feels like Sean should be able to.
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay. Let's do budget and box office from Sean.
I'll go. This was what did you say?
2014. Yeah.
I feel like it was I'll go to 14 million.
Okay.
14 million in 2014. And the box office was. I didn't really hear about. Was this popular? Ah, fuck. I'm gonna say 30 million.
Okay.
Was this popular? I feel like I heard about it, but I don't know if it was just because it was horror circles.
I mean, it's popular in horror circles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it before, like, watching a lot of horror movies. Like, I've heard it, like, referenced before. But I'm going to go 12 million.
Okay.
Budget, box office, 40 million.
Okay.
40 million? Yeah, I'm going to go 40 million.
Okay. Budget for this movie was only $1 million.
Get out of here.
That's good.
Ooh, hey.
Oh fuck!
And
you said
I'm
earlier,
like-
indie darling. Oh, it looks great. It's because it looked great.
I saw it. I saw it check out in your eyes too, but then you forgot it. I noticed the look in Sean's eyes. He was like,
I was trying to remember when you say things like that, and fuck. But it's just because it was so well shot. I kind of forgot about it.
Right,
Like, that's what I was thinking of right now when I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
well, it made $21.8 million, which gives
21.
which gives Sean the box
close.
office. So that's 1-1. Boys are still tied up.
Oh.
Hey.
All right, Rotten Tomatoes. Sean, hit me.
Hey, 1 million for this is really good.
Oh yeah, $1 million for
Yeah.
the look of this. I mean, they saved a lot of money on not having big name actors, but I mean,
Good acting too, though. So
Yeah.
wow, yeah, they did good for 1 million. Like, yeah,
and
nothing like stood out as it being cheap at all. I feel like I never did
Yeah.
that.
and especially to come out like at a time where like like The Conjuring and like all these like people were just like throwing money at because horror really hadn't resurged as much as it did once like I think The Witch would have been more the like real kickoff of like the new wave of horror in 2015. So if it was like the year before, and it feels like
Hereditary, Conjuring type.
Yeah. It feels like if this had come out a few years later, it probably would have done better.
Yeah.
But but it gets to the sequel. So, what do you think for critics and audience?
Dude, I feel like this is like a big gap. I actually think like audience would be high.
Okay.
And
Really?
I think critics would be low because of the plot things, maybe, or would it be the opposite because of the cinematography and shit? Or are they both clear? I feel like one's higher than the other.
It's a tough question.
I'm just gonna say instinctually, I'm going 55 critic, 85 audience.
Okay.
I'm going to do 75 both.
Crazy
You're
one.
going 75 both.
Dude, okay, this is interesting.
All right. I don't know how this works for the audience, but I love this. This is my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah.
This is so enjoyable. Okay. Dude, critics score 95%.
Holy shit,
fuck.
dude.
Critics score 95?
It really surprised me. 95.
That's nuts.
So Ray
Fuck, I
gets
should have said the opposite. Well, maybe.
Ray gets the 75 on that.
Holy shit.
Audience score only 66.
Dude, I would have.
If you had flipped it.
If you had flipped it.
Dude, I would have sounded
would've
like a
won the whole thing.
genius, though. I would have I think they're way different. Wait, and it was 65, 95?
It was 95 audience, or 95 critic, 66 audience.
Damn near, though, the same ratios of what I said if I just increased each by 10% and swapped it. Oh, my.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow, it was not, but I wasn't even close at all now. Damn,
No.
that was, did
I
Ray win
like the
both
logic.
then?
If I had
Did I
done
win both?
everything differently.
Well, hold on. My mindset was right. It was right.
Yeah. No, it is
You know
odd,
what I mean?
though.
I felt like there was there was one element that felt a little, for me at least, that was not.
Yeah.
Where I just got confused. I just wish there was more maybe answers. I know that's part of the film's
Yeah,
thing.
I think audiences don't like being left with
Yeah, I don't want to sound. I hope I
their
don't
own
sound
imaginations half the time.
I don't want to be a dumb audience member, but sometimes I'm I want to.
I really wish you explained more.
Yeah,
no,
I
I
will
get that.
say it is wild to see critics score that high on a
95 is
movie
insane.
that's not really very it's not hugely critically talked about that I've seen. I've heard a lot of people say great things about the movie, so I'm not sure how they got
It
that.
is good.
but-
I feel like this has been the most surprising one that any score I've gotten. Some of them you're oh, because you're they're wrong, but I understand why. The gap especially of 65 too is great. I don't know why audience 65. Why do you think that is then?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't know why. I guess maybe it would be like a thing of it like coming out when everybody wasn't kind of back into horror. So maybe this is that sort of like leading into the issue that we've found with more modern horror, like a lot of non-horror people finding a horror movie and
especially like there's a lot of like disturbing visuals to this one too.
And then probably some dum-dums who just didn't understand any kind of allegory.
Wait, did you guys really like this one then?
I like this movie. I think it's beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. I think it's super well done.
I feel like I didn't actually explicitly ask that because I gave my thoughts on it.
Well, that concludes our episode on It Follows. Happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you use protection.
Yeah. Get a gun.
All right. Join the Patreon if you haven't already.
Please have sex with me.
For our listeners, Sean put the gun on his head.
Yeah, look in your camera.
I don't want her to not see as I tell her.
Yeah, you got to cheat out to the audience.
Oh, like I'm like saying that over the phone. I'm like, no, by the way, I'm holding a
gun. Anyway, yeah, make sure you follow us on Patreon. You can get a week free. $3 a month is our cheapest plan, all the way up to whatever you want to pay. So do that if you haven't already. Thank you as always.
Whatever you want to pay, dear.
Yeah. Give us any amount of money.
$1 billion.
yeah, that'd be great. We'd appreciate that. So yeah, do that if you haven't already. We got a bunch of fun stuff over there. Our Evil Dead Army of Darkness episode will be out on there, running concurrently with our episode on Evil Dead Rise and Evil Dead 2. So a bunch of other fun stuff we do over there, reviews, all kinds of stuff. So join us there. And as always, thank you to our Patreon members. We got Aaron. We got what's his name? Dank Sinatra.
Dank Sinatra. I don't know how you keep forgetting that.
Jackie. We got our friend Jackie, and of course our top tier members, Nicole and our main friend who sent me a birthday card. Kelly, thank you for my birthday gift. That was very sweet of you. Or actually, it might have been Christmas. Ooh, was I supposed to share that? It's too late. I already spent it. I might have been. I can't remember if I was supposed to share it with you. I'll buy you a coffee later.
That's fine.
She sent a Starbucks card. Thank you. Anyway, from our producer, Turner, and us boys, we love you all, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Swallow this.